All right, here we go, YouTube. We're gonna catch up on the catch can install on the F150 EcoBoost 2018. And I know some of you are like, why do you need a catch can on such a newer vehicle? What a catch can does, it catches oil that comes out of the engine through the PVC system. And what it is that these EcoBoosts are direct injection. So what that means is that the fuel is shot under the valve onto the piston. So as the PVC valve sucks oil back through the intake, it goes through the top of the valve and hits the valve stem, and then all your carbon builds up on the valve stem to where as the more carbon builds up, the bigger and bigger it gets, so it robs you of performance, horsepower, economy, fuel economy, and a bunch of other stuff. And the more carbon it has to, the valve has to smack off as it goes up and down. Obviously, we'll end up ruining valve guides and a bunch of other stuff because you don't have an ejector over here shooting fuel into the port across the valve, in which gets sucked down through underneath the valve and go into the piston, to where now the fuel comes straight in underneath the valve on top of the piston. So there's nothing there to wash all of that carbon off of the valve stem. So what this does, it takes the oil, all the vapor that comes out of the PVC system goes in here, gets caught inside this can, and it falls down through some filters in here. And then it turns back into oil and the water and all the other garbage that comes out of there. And then it goes back out, and it's just air that goes back into the intake, which gets sucked back down into your motor. There's no oil, very minimal oil. I ain't gonna say this catches 100%, but it'll catch a good bit of it. So I have two of these, one for the left side, one for the right side, because it is a V6. I got the mounting bracket, which I've determined that this comes in the kit. I'm gonna cut it here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. There's a Sharpie line right there. I'm gonna cut it off right there. And then right across the bottom here, I'm gonna cut it and drill a hole, and I'm gonna mount it on my battery box. Let me spin you around and I'll show you the one I've already mounted to figure out how I'm gonna do this. So as you can tell, I got the first catch can in. I ain't got it plumbed yet, just attached. There's the bracket where I cut it off at the top. And then down at the very bottom is the L that I drilled a hole through that, drilled a hole into my battery box, because the battery box has this lip right here. Let me get my big fingers out of the way. It's got this lip right here, so you could just bolt it to that lip. And then it's got the bracket on the back of the catch can that bolts to the bracket. So this is the catch can bracket and the bracket that I put it in there. Kind of flimsy. We'll see how it holds up over time. Hopefully it don't break off and fall down there on my turbo. Plumb it, which I'll end up having to take the cover off. There's two bolts in the front. Not sure if there's any bolts in the back. Pull out the hose. Let me get up to that point and I'll bring you. I'm gonna cut the bracket. Two pieces I cut off, little bracket. Now I gotta drill a hole in it right there. Go clean it up. All right, so what I gotta do is I got this. This is all the hardware that come with it. I gotta stick it through there, put the nut on it. I gotta tighten it down. Then I gotta go run it through the bandsaw and cut it off, because the bolt is too long. It hits the catch can when you have the catch can bolted on here. So this bolt has to be cut, you know, right off the outside of the nut so it'll fit. So there it is. I cut it off. Catch can has these two little Allen bolts here that mount the bracket to the catch can. Put it on there like that. Find the bolt I just cut. Right there. Put it on. Keep the bracket kind of straight as you tighten it. These are serrated nuts. Now when I get done with all this kit, I'm going to go back and put Loctite on everything after I make sure that the kit mounts in the way I want it. Okay, here's the other catch can. I got my trusty Sharpie. Can't find my silver one, so I gotta rely on the red one. So what I'm gonna do is mark the edges, pull the catch can back off, and then drill the holes. There's the 2 Sharpie marks I made, so I'll put the bracket back in there, mark it, drill the hole. Well, I had to take a little break. A little injury on the old install. It was blood. I'm sweating. I got my boob sweat going on. Almost tears. That thing hurt. What happened was the drill got stuck in the bracket and spun it in my hand. Put a big gash in my finger. Might need stitches. I'm gonna finish the install. Take the band-aid off later, look at it. Might just rub some dirt in it and call it a day. We're up to now mount this injury-prone thing on the battery box. Got the hole drilled. And then we can mount the other catch can and start running lines. See if I can't rip my other finger off. Yeah, it's kind of a long screw. Just deal with it for now. Probably should have cut it off too. In the way of anything way down there. Find my Allen wrench. Alrighty. So that's what it's gonna look like. So let me get the cover off, start running hoses, start prepping things for the Loctite and all that. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's get the cover off. 2 10mm bolts. Lift up on the front and pull forward. This is the hose we're going after. Comes out of the valve cover, goes right back in the intake. And then you got the one on the driver's side too. Comes right out of the valve cover, goes right back into the intake. Fairly easy. Got this little clip right here. You pull up, pull out, releases it. And then when you put it back in, it clips. Now what I'm gonna do is take a heat gun and heat these so these pieces will pull off so I can put them in my rubber hose. All right, heat didn't work. So I had to take a knife and cut them off. Be real careful. All I gotta do is just trim slight little edge off of them and the fittings will pop right out. That one, back on. And then that one, which that's how they were, pointed just like that. I think I wanna go this way and like that and go under and then come right up into this can. I gotta figure out how to flow. It might be better to go forward and come around. Because I think if I go down, it'll kink. So, let me get the fittings. Now what's cool with the kit, it comes with the fittings, the O-rings, comes with everything. The only thing this kit doesn't come with is the better quality hose. The hose that comes with it wouldn't have been enough to do it anyway. So, you got your fittings, you got seals on them. And I'm actually gonna put liquid thread sealer on it. And make sure you use thread sealant and not Loctite, which I don't think you'll ever need to have these kind of things come back out, but just in case. Hopefully with the thread sealer and the actual seal on it, they won't leak. All right, I'm gonna lay the cover on it and find out where the cover has openings. I think it'd be best to come out the front and go right there. Now I got the hose 1/2 inch inside. I got 12 feet of it. So this is the out. I want to go down and under that. And it's got to go into this one. This is in. That'll work. Perfect. Cover goes all the way down with the mounts. Just put 2 clamps on it. Try to get all this done so it starts raining again, because I can't work in the garage when it's raining. It's too damn loud in here. So that goes on there. And what sucks is this is not very long, so it has to stay within this area. But this hose needs to come out, go back across the front and over to there. I did find my PVC cutters. I'll leave that unplugged for now. Let me make sure I get everything routed the way I want it. 12 feet is going to be right at what I need. That's crazy. Internet was right for once. All right, so I'm going to run that one over there. Might have to reroute it. Let me put the cover on and see what happens. What do you think, YouTube? That one hose I'm going to have to probably cut a little short. This one, because it's got a slight little kink in it right there. There we go. Catch cans are in. That's the best way to route that one so it don't kink. I know it probably doesn't look the best to come around, but it's not kinked now. I'm happy, YouTube. Well, there they are. And if some of y'all are wondering what these are, they're actual dipsticks. Now you saw earlier I was talking about anti-seize. I'm gonna put anti-seize on these threads. Heat and aluminum I really don't trust with the threads that are on there. So I'm gonna put anti-seize on them so hopefully they never seize up. I'm gonna finish up putting the clamps on it. Put the clamps on under there, underneath the cover on all the fittings, and there it is. So just to tell y'all again, boosted engines create more blow-by because the boost actually goes past the piston rings into the bottom of the crankcase. So what I did now is that I'm hoping to catch the oil in those cans so that it doesn't come back into the intake. So my goal is to change them or empty them every oil change. And I'm old school, so all my oil changes will be around 3,000 miles, even though they say these can go 7 to 10,000. I buy the truck to tow a 22-foot camper. That's the other reason why I wanted to put a catch can on it, because it's going to be under boost. A lot of boost when I'm driving down the road pulling the camper. It's going to sustain boost, not like if you're just driving. I don't know what the boost is when there's nothing towing and you're just cruising down the road on flat road, but I know when you're towing, keep the power and the torque up, it's going to create more boost, which at that point it's going to create more pressure. Probably going to have to change these or check these a lot more than somebody that just daily drives theirs with a catch can. So that's it. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment down below if you got any questions on what I did, or if you think you have something a little better, you know, to help me make sure my system stays working, let me know. I'm gonna get out of here, finish it up, putting the clamps on. I'm gonna do that off camera. I don't wanna bore you with that. Put the anti-seize and all the Loctite, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.